Hello and welcome to Sovereign RPG. I am Sovereign and this is your one-stop shop to everything EVE Echoes. Today we're going to go over some alpha and omega stuff and all the information I've gathered from the devs, both CCP and NetEase, interviews and articles, to try and give you a better idea of how this may play out. And with regards to the alpha restrictions, I've come up with a few suggestions on how we could actually make this work without being so restricted. I've spoken to the NE team regarding these and they are on the table, so make sure to let me know down below if any of them are good for you. Remember that every Saturday at 8 PM UTC we have the only talk show regarding EVE Echoes and it's called Echoes Talk. I know it's a shit name, but I'm just terrible at names, so just bear with me, just go with it. The last one was before and after the live stream where we had special guests Doomsy, co-founder and leader of Opposing Force Alliance, and fellow content creators Captain Benzie and Who is a Fish, who is also a fellow moderator for EVE Echoes. This Saturday at 8 PM UTC we will have once again Doomsy, we will have Sandbridge, leader of Trimark Heavy Industries, another heavyweight on the Western Corp front, fellow content creator Gricka Forte, and several other members of the community to discuss, argue and belittle each other about the alpha and omega issues. One for, one against, and one Switzerland. Make sure to follow and be notified when we go live, link will be in the description. And also links in the description for all content creators mentioned before. Be sure to share the love and check them out. Now let's get into the meat of it. Remember that some or most of this is subject to change through the entirety of development. What we know so far is that Alpha is currently locked out of industry, selling to market, and the use of advanced skills and normal ships above T7, which means they can only use standard BC and below, BC being battlecruisers, according to the beta. I have also been told that contracts may be restricted to Omega. This is just an option on the table, and once you see my second option, I believe it's best for all worlds. Through conversations with both NetEase and CCP, the roundabout cost of Omega 1 is $5-ish and Omega 2 is $15-ish. What Omega 1 unlocks is basically the entire game for the minute amount of $5-ish. You will also get 5 extra skill points a minute. We will get into a breakdown of how much the extra SP affects, how long it takes to get to certain tiers using the tier SP from beta later on. What Omega 2 does is grants you an extra 20 SP per minute on top of Omega 1. No other unlocks currently for Omega 2. Now you might be thinking, why the 3 times cost for only a small amount of SP? And this is why. To get to tier 7 on an alpha account will take roughly, using data from beta and the current alpha and omega SP rates, 101 days. On an Omega 1 account, you will shave off 15 days, taking only 86 days to reach tier 7. Now an Omega 2 account will take only 55 days, just under 2 months to reach tier 7, shaving off a massive 46 days off the timer. It gets even more higher up, as you can see here. If alphas could get to tier 9, it would take you 548 days to reach. Omega 1 takes 470 days, still well over a year. But with Omega 2 you're looking at roughly 299 days, just under 10 months to reach tier 9. That is an insane amount of time less than the other Omega. I feel that the extra cost is fair when you look at numbers like these. Now with the Omega breakdowns done, let's look at the alpha restrictions and options that we have that could work. Remember to let me know down in the comments, go into the EVE Echoes official Discord and give your suggestions and feedback so we can really help to mold this game. There are 2 options that I have on the table. Number 1, 2-factor authorization method. This is the most obvious way and it's been suggested by many people including the devs. This is where you would have to set up a second method to unlock your account to play it, using an email or mobile number, etc. And doing this optional step could unlock selling to market for you. There are downsides since players can create virtual mobiles to get numbers, etc. 2-factor is not really a good option if you're trying to stop RMT because it just takes an extra 5 minutes to do. So now we get down to the number 2 option I have, which honestly I think is the best option. There are so many positives to this option and just really not many negatives. And that is only allowing alpha clones to use the ITC markets in HighSec and LowSec, barring them from using ITCs in NullSec. So no selling or buying in NullSec itself, only being able to buy and sell in LowSec and HighSec. This can add so much to the game in general, whilst not having access to contracts of course. And speaking to a friend of mine, Degar, who came out with some very amazing points, I will add them below. Non-alliances and their players will benefit from hauling contracts, taking stuff from NullSec to LowSec areas for members. adding much more to that side of gameplay. The shape of the territory and nullsec will change, as cutting yourself off from low-sec access will put a massive dent in your alliance economic growth, especially if you have a lot of alpha players. Null and low-sec connections and bordering low-sec ITCs are going to become massively contested hotbeds for action or pirating hell holes for alpha players. It could get bad. But this also adds to the fact that Corps will need to deal with these pirates, and being in low-sec is a much easier task to do. You can drop a decently sized and fitted fleet on a shit-fit pirate fleet and not really have to worry about Concord. Win-win on both fronts. Pirates get fucked, pirates get content. Please let me know what you think of this option so I can bring this feedback to the devs. I believe it to be the best of both worlds scenario, but that's all we have for today. Make sure to like and sub if you haven't already. This is your one-stop shop to everything EVE Echoes. Fly safe.